Hi, it's working. Okay, switching over. I'm sorry, guys. We're slightly late. I think it's live now. Yeah. Okay, so tonight we are not doing my usual Real Talk with the Vulnerable Angel and Friends live stream. We are doing horror fans discuss modern horror movies, specifically from 2020 onwards. And I'm joined by my friends Mike and Sharad. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Goodness, I need
Hello.
this is what happens
I'm
when
glad
I
we
have so
got
many issues.
to,
I'm on the top.
Mummy's
I'm
always
glad.
on top.
Oh,
What's that, Mike? What? What?
no, I'm just
Mm.
glad we got the technical difficulties figured out.
It
Yeah.
was clearly because I was trying to live stream also to Twitch, because once I turned that off, it was
Ah,
fine.
there you go.
I don't know.
There you go.
We're just doing YouTube. That's fine. It's not like I get Twitch viewers anyway. But I thought I'd try because I do that with my other live streams sometimes. All right, so we're gonna discuss modern horror films. I'm excited, guys. There have been so many good horror films in the last few years, and this year in particular, 2025 has been so hot for horror films. I don't think I've ever seen as many horror films in the movie theater ever in my entire life compared to this year. Like just rattling off my list of horror films that I've seen in the movie theaters this year: Companion, Megan 2.0, Final Destination, Bloodlines, Sinners, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the latest one, 28 Years Later, and Weapons. So that's what, seven. So I've seen 7 horror films in the theater this year. There were other ones that I was interested in seeing as well, but they didn't hit my local theater. Like I really wanted to see Together, which I think is available on streaming already, but I haven't watched it yet. And there was another one that was made by, I think it was made by the same people as is it Talk to Me, called Bring Her Back. I haven't seen that one yet either, but that was another one from this year that I'm keen to check out. How about you guys? How are you feeling about modern horror films?
Mike, do you want to start first?
Sure. I mean, horror is a genre that I'm only relatively fresh to. Um, my entire life, I have been completely petrified of the scaries. Anything even tangential, like stuff like Beetlejuice, I was totally fine with. I loved, growing up, stuff like that. Turns, I guess an argument could
Yeah.
be made that that's pretty creepy. But I love that stuff. Anything that was like tonally atmospheric, I loved. But if it introduced an element of like the psycho killer, or you can die in your sleep, or someone's in the shower with you, or like supernatural stuff like that,
Mhm.
freaked me out. That said, I've always been fascinated by horror films, and I think part of my fascination has been the fact that I can't watch them. So a number of years ago, I started. You always want the thing that you can't have, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So years ago, it was I think it was during COVID, maybe even a little bit before. But uh, I found myself being drawn to movies like Mandy with Nicolas Cage that aren't horror, but they're pure atmospheric. But a case could be made that they are horror. And my favorite movie of all time, Jurassic Park, I do consider to be a horror film. And so I would tell people that, like, I love I watch non-scary horror movies, and they're like, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Well, Jurassic Park, it's not scary." but it is a horror movie, right? The original Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi as Dracula, 1931. You know, like not scary. Maybe by the time period, it's considered scary. You know, Phantom of the Opera, terrifying. Well, nobody speaks. It's not scary anymore, right? Anything that was scary about it is not scary anymore. So I kind of started watching. Sorry, this is a much longer
explanation than you were expecting.
yeah,
Let's hear it, Mike.
that I'm disposing to you, or deposing to you rather. But I started in around 2020. I started getting into really weird movies that were like horror adjacent, like a lot of David Cronenberg type stuff, which is
Body horror. Body horror. Yeah.
Like Videodrome blew my mind. I loved Videodrome. It's so weird. Vivarium with Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots. It's not a horror film. Yeah, I know, right? It's not a scary film, but it's weird. It's like really weird. There's a movie that took 30 years to make because it's stop motion animation. It's called Mad God. There's no dialogue at all. It's so bizarre and twisted, but like, I started really going down this rabbit hole of just like weird cinema. Like there's a movie called Slacks about a possessed pair of blue jeans that goes on a killing spree, and it's weird. It's a comedy, right? Or like movies like Frankenhooker, stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude, that's just reminded me. There was a guy that I connected with on LiveJournal years and years ago, and he was he worked on this kind of comedy horror film called Poultrygeist, which was like,
oh yeah,
you familiar with that one?
About,
Yeah.
About a ghost chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one in the same vein as Poultrygeist called Slaughterhouse.
There's another one called Thanksgiving. That's another good one.
Thanksgiving, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that. And it was because of all of these like bizarre, strange, like really weird movies that I started watching. Then I started like, all right, well, I can handle this. I wonder if I can handle this. And so we started with some of the old classics. You know, the original Halloween movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, you know, stuff like that. And so I have built up a great tolerance as well as kind of a love for the horror genre. Even though I'm a relative newcomer to the genre, I really dig these movies. There's still some like the Paranormal Activity movies. I can't.
You can't? Oh, I haven't seen all of them. I've seen like maybe 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, they're good.
No, there's still some that I can't do. Like anything.
Is it just because you can't see like what's happening? You can't see the thing, but you can handle blood?
Gore has never bothered me. Gore has never bothered me.
I'm more bothered by gore.
Huh.
Yeah. But I mean, I can handle it, but like if it's like very detailed and like digging into flesh and stuff, I will tense up watching that stuff.
Well, sure. But like I feel like after the moment is over, there's no like lasting impact. Like that was just a thing that you saw, right?
Right.
As opposed to the idea associated with it. There is a thing lurking in the shadows that you cannot see, and you don't know how it got there. So there's no way to fight it. There's no way to anticipate it.
It's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah. And with such an active imagination like mine, it some of that stuff does a real number on me.
Fair, but we will go into more detail about the horror genre as a whole next week, because we are, we're interested in more horror than just modern times. But today is specifically discussing anything that was made from 2020 onwards. Yeah.
How about you, Captain
initial thoughts, Sharad, you want to share with us?
One thing I like, I really admire about the horror film industry is that things definitely go in trends. And one thing I like recently, more contemporary, is that we're kind of going back to a previous era, a golden age where everything's more atmospheric rather than outwardly. So, don't get me wrong, you have, as you said, your gore. That's always great fun. But every once in a while, you do want something kind of that will kind of stay with you, like mentally, where it's not outwardly, and it's all about triggering certain things here and there. And
I've always been more into like the psychological aspect of stuff and like creeping out. Also, like I really tend to need good character pieces. So if like slasher films don't have a lot of character depth in a lot of them, not that I've seen a whole lot of them, but like that's my impression of them. Which is different for Scream, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, everything has a formula, right? In terms of what has to happen. But I like how films nowadays, they can kind of laugh at themselves and don't take each other too seriously, which is good. But at the same time, it's giving themselves license to try something new.
Yeah. There's definitely that. Speaking of trends, there's one trend that I think I don't think I've seen this as in a horror movie trend pre 2020. Maybe there might be some films, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But since 2020, I have seen 4 horror films that are specifically include an AI robot aspect to it as part of the element of the horror film.
Companion, Megan.
Yes, Megan 2.0, and then Afraid.
Very nice.
Which you may not be familiar with Afraid, because I don't think very many people kind of... It doesn't seem to be very, very widely advertised, but I was curious about it because, it was... I tend to try and support movies with Asian leads specifically. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting. I ended up buying it because I'm just like, I need to see this film again. But yeah, I saw it in the movie theater last year. AIs, man, it's creepy.
I mean, to be fair, like if you go back, and I mean, there's so many films that talk about AI becoming sentient, don't they? And I mean, and so now we're at a stage where it's more so in our lives than ever. So yeah, I mean, it's very possible.
We did talk last week. I can't remember if this on or after the stream now, but Terminator, the original Terminator film, we were discussing as could be described as a horror film, but like that's the only example that I can think of beyond. And the modern day ones are different, right? Because it's more rooted in our current modern day reality.
I feel like a lot of modern day horror films are trying to reinvent the genre. Like there have been so many look at the explosion in the 80s with VHS.
Yeah.
And everyone was making their own VHS direct-to-video horror films
because it's
they're
cheap,
cheap,
and they make a
they're
lot of money.
salacious, and they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so you got everything was so repetitive, and you got stuff like Maniac, Maniac Cop.
Maniac Cop is so good, though. So good, Maniac Cop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of all the different examples, but they're all the same. You know, different characters, different storylines. But
Guys, we're also getting off topic. We can talk about that stuff next week.
No. Stop. We're not getting off
saying
topic.
that's where it starts.
Say what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The point that I'm making, if you will let me, is that they're like all of these movies were the same. Compare and contrast that to now. Everyone is trying to put messaging into their films.
Yeah.
We're trying to reinvent the genre, and we're seeing other remakes of classic films that have either really bad messaging or like if you're going to do a remake or a reboot, what is it new? Like what's new that you're bringing to the genre, to the story?
Right.
But then also, why now? What is it about the state of the world now that this has relevance to, right? In a fresh take. So some of them do that really, really well, like Wolf Man, or even 2020. Well, it technically came out in 2019, but they're all citing it as 2020. The Invisible Man. With Elizabeth, what's her face? Man, The Invisible Man was so good. It was so good, and it was all about gaslighting, which is a huge problem.
Yeah,
that has only recently become popular to talk about or to address.
Acknowledged, yeah.
Acknowledged. Thank you. But yeah, modern horror films.
That's not one that I've seen, but given the gaslighting aspect, God, that's one I should see.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a great film. It's a great film.
They also made it on a budget of $8 million, and it made approximately $116 million at the box office.
Yeah, man, that production company was raking it in, just swimming in pools of money.
That's how you do it, man. Low budget and then make a lot of money. Yeah. Well, when you talk about remakes or reboots or whatever, what comes to mind for me, because I, grew up in the 90s. So my, initial like stepping into horror films were the 90s teen horror films like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I'm sorry, Dominica, but we're getting off topic.
This is not off topic because they've both had reboots. And what I'm finding interesting about like just the last few years with those particular films getting reboots or like continued the series is like, oh, so now that era is having their resurgence the way that Halloween and Friday the 13th and stuff did around the same kind of time periods. Like moving along the timeline of things. And yeah, I was a big fan of all of the continuations that have come out in the last few years, especially Scream. I thought that continuation / reboot was great because they also like addressed the fact that it was a reboot, like in the film. You know how they like are very good at talking to the horror audience.
Very self-reflective self-referential. It's very
Yes.
self-aware.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely enjoyed that aspect. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot brought back a number of the original cast as well, and I felt like that they integrated them really well into the storyline. I don't want to give spoilers away for those who haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I was really happy with that, how that turned out. There were some surprises in there that I was like, did not see that coming, but good on you. Good on you for doing that. Mike, I think you said you saw it and you did not like it. Is that right? Did I?
No, I have not seen it. I have
Okay.
read a ton of reports and reviews from people who said it was pretty bad.
Huh.
But no,
Okay,
I have
well.
not seen it myself. So
Different people
I
have
can't.
different tastes.
Yeah, that's fine.
I loved it. I would
Okay,
love to
that's fine.
pick up a copy of it. But I don't know who are the people who are not liking it, like whether they were fans of the original ones or if they're just like newcomers to the franchise or whatever. Yeah. But as a fan of the first two movies, and the first one in particular, but I have the first two on DVD, so I was like,
Nice.
this is perfect the way that they integrated the original characters.
Good.
And I think, Mike, you've seen Final Destination Bloodlines, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things I really liked about that one is how they found a way to blend it in with all of the other previous films, because it had seemed like that they weren't really that connected previously. Whereas with Bloodlines, it's like, oh yeah, they're all connected in a much more obvious way.
Good.
And yeah,
And
yeah,
so like there are some movies that try to connect things after
For
the
better
fact.
or for worse. Yeah, for better or for worse. Yeah.
And it just falls apart. But Bloodlines did it in a really clever, thoughtful way that was fun.
Good.
yeah. It was also very much more like family centric, not as a you take your family to see this film, but like the characters were very more family oriented, and that history aspect was, I don't know, it just felt I don't know, more contained and more character driven as well. Like you really wanted to know more about the characters, I think.
Yeah. Can we run down all of the movies that we've seen in 2025?
Of the 2025 horror films?
Yeah.
Sure.
Movies that have come out in 2025.
I assumed that's what you meant, because there's been more that I've seen this year.
Whether it's in the theater, whether it's at home, if it was a 2025 release.
For me, I've only seen Weapons, Sinners, and Companion, and Heretic. That's it. Oh, Heretic was last year.
Yeah, Heretic was last year.
So only out of our list, only 3 from moi.
Okay.
Yeah, I listed mine at the top of the top of the the stream, but I will list them again because it does seem like we have viewers now. So feel free to leave some comments in the chat if you'd like to interact with us as well.
Welcome.
So yeah, there were 7 that I listed off. So I saw Weapons, 28 years later. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Sinners, Final Destination, Bloodlines, Megan 2.0, and Companion.
Nice.
For me, I saw Together, Clown in a Cornfield, Death of a Unicorn, The Monkey, Drop, Companion, Final Destination Bloodlines, Weapons, Megan 2.0, Sinners, and Wolfman.
Nice.
Wow, you saw even more than I did, I think.
Wow, look at you.
I was curious about the Death of a Unicorn one. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
so
It's good.
fun. There are some reviewers online that say it's a really fun idea, it's a really fun premise, but they don't stick the landing. I would disagree with that. I I don't know what these people were expecting of from a comedy, a horror comedy with Paul Rudd. Uh, such a great cast of people, but like they kill a unicorn while driving down the road on their way to like this, almost like a job interview, basically, a high profile job interview, and all hell breaks loose, and it's just wonderful, and it's gory, and it's bloody, and it's silly and ridiculous. I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Good.
The CG of the unicorns in some scenes isn't great, but also like, who cares? It's just a fun movie.
I mean, in some ways, like the worse off the CG, the campier the film is, the better. Maybe.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah, if you
Not
look at it, you
always.
go, "Oh, that's a piece of poop." I'm in. I'm strapped myself in. I'm in.
Well, so
Sign me up.
last year, the movie Werewolves came out, and it's such a great premise. A year ago, there was a crazy supermoon that for anyone who was caught in the moonlight, you turned around the world. You turned into a werewolf, right? And so this year, the supermoon is coming out again, and so everyone is making preparations. It's like The Purge, if you think of it as it's like Werewolves meets The Purge.
It's great.
You thought Werewolves was great?
Well. I mean, it's great in the sense that they kind of used it like a device, and everyone, like, it was like The Purge, but for werewolves. So I mean, it was a great idea. Whether it was executed well,
it's a great idea, but you're right, it was not executed well, and specifically the costumes. Like they couldn't. You sprung for CGI to show the transformation from human to werewolf, but once they reached full werewolf, it was such a bad prosthetic.
What costume?
It was so goofy. Took me right out of it.
All right. Well, that's one for me to not add to my list of movies to watch. Got it. Good to know.
No, I mean, it's worth watching. It's worth a watch.
I take my recommendations from my friends seriously. Like the couple of the movies that I have watched that I wanted to discuss tonight specifically came from your guys' recommendations. Like I saw Sinners because of you guys, and I saw Heretic because of you guys, and that was like part of the reason that like I decided to have this stream specifically about horror. Like modern horror movies, because after seeing Heretic, I'm like, yeah, we need to do a stream to discuss this.
Well, I would also highly recommend Clown in a Cornfield. That was a really fun movie. Sorry, my cat's hair is just everywhere.
I should make a horror movie about that. Cat,
it's called Hair. It was just a really fun, silly movie. Pretty fun.
Just an FYI, I'm just doing some quick research on it. This is a reason why films like this exist and why they do so well. Clown in a Cornfield was made for $1 million, and it grossed 13.4. There you go. That'll do.
Was it? I don't know if it was actually released in theaters. Was it?
Let me check. It was released in released in theaters at a few film festivals, and then it was released in cinemas. Yeah.
For how long was it in cinemas?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Not bad.
I don't think it was in
like limited release. It was probably a limited release, like the same way that my local theater didn't have Together, which I wanted to watch. How was that one? It was good.
I loved it. I loved
Because
it.
like
I love body
I
horror.
genuinely just wanted to watch it because the trailer made it look so good. I'm like, I want to see this film.
It's gross, but it was, yeah, I really dug it. I really dug
Okay.
it. You have to be into body horror. Like, if body horror like really freaks you out, then don't see it because it's gruesome.
I think I'll be fine with it. Like, I'm okay with some. I can handle it. I just prefer. I don't know. It depends on the extent of it. Like, I was fine with seeing the first Saw film, but I've not seen any of the ones since because I'm like. But anyway,
If that's the case,
so
stay away from the Terrifier franchise. Then in that
I
case,
have not even heard of that franchise.
You know, I
think
just
I
saw
would.
the first movie and I was like,
yeah,
whoa,
it gets worse. It gets a lot more intense.
yeah.
So
Look,
Mental.
I would probably be open to watching the other Saw films, but I think it's a series that I would prefer to watch with somebody else rather than by myself. You know what I mean? Like a lot of horror, I'm fine with watching on my own, but something like that, I think maybe nice to have like someone that I can like like snuggle up into, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
Do
while
you
since
guys want
I've
to
had
do a rundown of 2024?
let's do it.
Sure. You want me to go first? All right.
Yeah.
I don't have very many films. My 2024 horror films were Afraid and Heretic. That's all I've seen.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Sharad,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
think
got?
it's very, very similar to me. Heretic and probably Late Night with the Devil.
That was so good.
It was so good, wasn't it? So yeah,
I think that
I'm
was
trying.
23 though.
Let me check, por favor. Oh, dang it, you're right. Yes. Okay. All right, you got me. Yeah,
So
2023.
see, just seeing Heretic,
Just
just
Heretic then.
Heretic.
That's
Ah,
it.
yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. Sorry. Just Heretic.
Yeah. How do I not have? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. For me, it was Quiet Place Day One, Trap, Alien Romulus,
Oh, I've seen
Blink
that.
Twice. Pretty good.
Oh
Blink Twice.
shit! Blink. Wait, is that?
Channing Tatum.
Oh, Blink
Is it?
Twice.
Was that the one where is a kind of a rich guy that takes a bunch of people? Okay, I didn't list that
Yeah.
one, but yes, I saw that one very recently.
Oh wow.
Good.
Zoe Kravitz wrote and directed it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
actually that was intense and great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to add that to my list.
Yeah. And it's got a great twist.
Ooh.
Yes. Yes,
Speak
it does.
No Evil. Speak No Evil. Salem's Lot, the remake.
Ooh.
Carved, which is about a killer pumpkin. Not a great movie. Heretic,
Mhm.
Werewolf, Nosferatu, and The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Oh, you told us about that last one, I think. Previously,
The
yeah.
Rule of Jenny Penn.
Yeah.
It's why can't I think of his name? The guy who played Barbossa in the Pirates movies.
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush, thank you.
Yeah.
And John Lithgow.
Nice.
They're both in a seniors home, a home for seniors, and everyone is kind of terrified of I just said his name.
Jeffrey
John
Rush.
Lithgow.
John
John Lithgow. Jeffrey Rush is the newcomer to the seniors home, and everyone in the seniors home is kind of terrified of John Lithgow. John Lithgow has this little puppet named Ginny Pin, and in the middle of the night, he breaks into your room and pins you down and makes you lick the back of Ginny Pin's asshole, which is really just the back of his hand because it's like hand and puppet. And it's all like control, and it's all like, again,
That
it's all
sounds terrifying. That's terrifying.
It's weird, but it's really good. It's really good.
I remembered another 2024 film, which is comedy horror, but you might have seen it as well. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
I still haven't seen that.
No.
Oh yeah, I didn't list that. It was fine.
It was okay. It was all right.
The trailer made it look so good, and I saw it, and it was fine. It was okay.
Trailers have a tendency to do that. Yeah. Well, all false hope.
I thought, what a great idea of like an ice ghost. What a cool idea.
But isn't that just something taken out of a Scooby-Doo cartoon?
Kind of.
Yeah.
And I was totally okay with it. It's
Yeah.
fucking Ghostbusters. So, yeah.
Right.
Carved, though, I just saw recently, like the Killer Pumpkin. It's so bad. It's
Is it so bad it's good? Is it so bad it's good?
It's what you hope for, but it's actually it doesn't lean fully into comedy, and it doesn't lean fully into horror. It just kind of has like this weird, like, you try to straddle both, and it doesn't work. Like, the script isn't good, the dialogue is terrible. The stuff that they do with the pumpkin, it just, because it's all practical effects, which is cool,
okay. Cool.
But also it doesn't quite work. Yeah, it was a great idea though.
yeah. Maybe it's one that needs a remake with better production people.
People who actually know what they're doing, yeah.
As opposed to the classic films that are already great as they are, and people decide to remake them anyway. Like, no, they're already classics. You don't need to remake them because they're perfect.
But I mean, to be fair, I don't think that's a creative choice. I think that's a financial choice.
I know, I understand. Just like, the bringing back horror franchises is also a financial choice. It's like, let's bring back the nostalgia and make money that way.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's nothing new. I remember I was watching. There was a documentary that I watched a while back called "Never Sleep Again" about the Freddy Krueger franchise, and I remember that they actually.
It's like a 6-hour documentary.
Yeah, it's an amazing documentary because it covers everything, and it's amazing. And they interview like a lot of the studio heads, including Bob Shea, who was the head of the company, and they were interviewing all the writers, the actors, like, and they're like, "Why do we keep making this? Like, it's just." Like, it just doesn't make sense. You can see Robert Englund, the guy who played Freddy, is just like, you can just see him like, so funny.
He was just recently interviewed on comicbook.com, and he was like, no, I would love to do another one. Specifically, he was referring to like animated films or animated television, do like a Freddy Krueger animated television series. He would love to come back and voice Freddy Krueger again.
That'd be awesome.
My introduction to Freddy Krueger was from the crossover film Freddy vs. Jason. Same as Friday the 13th. I hadn't seen.
I mean, to be fair, that film is a guilty pleasure. That film is a guilty pleasure. It's
I don't
horrible,
remember much of anything about it, but that was my introduction to both of those franchises. Yeah, and then I went later, saw the originals, but otherwise that's it.
It's kind of an interesting thing when you're talking about modern horror is, in the 80s and the 90s, even really in the 70s, they were building iconic horror characters. They didn't know it at the time, but once there was like an iconic villain, then they leaned into it every single time. Pinhead, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees. We don't get that. We have the Terrifier.
Yeah, Art the Clown.
Yeah, but he's not making. They're all cult films. They're not like mainstream.
He's an exception to the rule. He's an outlier. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you look at films like It Follows or The Babadook or Barbarian, or what are some of the other, like, Weapons? What are other big here, let me just go through the list. Late Night with the Devil, well, Scream is, Bodies,
Well, Ghostface,
Bodies, Smile, The Menu, The Blackening, last
there's
night,
no
Black Phone.
ongoing characters really that have been
The
created.
Black Phone is probably the first like big budget, like as far as big budget horror films actually have. Black Phone, The Grabber, is probably the next iconic horror villain, but I don't know if that's actually going to work. Oh. What do you guys have for 2023?
Wait, before we do that, I will bring up some of the chats. So my dad is one of our viewers, and he just says, I am probably only listening today as you seem to be talking about movies I haven't seen.
But hopefully you will. Hopefully you will.
I don't know how much of a horror film buff my dad is, actually. And then he also suggested for the cat hair movie title, horror movie, Hairball Attack.
Yes, please.
Which reminds me of Attack of the Killer Tomato.
Oh, so good. Did you know Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is the cinematic debut of a certain George Clooney?
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not know that.
There you go.
I think I knew that, but I'd since forgotten. I would not have remembered that.
He plays the main character's roommate / best friend.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't know why I still remember that, because I used to have it on VHS. So.
Forever since I've seen that film. And then he also says, or older Attack of the Killer Hairball. So I did not see that comment before I said the Attack of the Killer Tomato. So anyway.
Killer Hairball 2 from under the bed.
He also says YouTube has lots of interesting videos with interviews given by real life exorcisms, if into real data, because of the state of the world, it is getting harder to get rid of demons due to lack of faith. Jesus often stated the importance of faith in healing physical, mental, and spiritual.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's my dad's comments. All right, so we're looking at 2023.
Yeah. What do you got for 2023?
I also don't have very many for that, but Missing, which I loved. It was a great follow-up to Searching, which is pre-2020. So I wish I could discuss that one as well. I never
saw Missing.
Yeah, it's a great follow-up. Obviously different characters and stuff. Scream 6 and Insidious: The Red Door.
Nice.
Yeah. that seems a little like, for me anyway, for my taste, I'm like,
oh, you're not an Insidious one? It's too psychological for you?
I don't know. I'll have to watch the trailer and suss it out.
It is a good franchise. I'm very grateful for Sharad. I don't remember if you were part of the conversation. It might have been during our last year horror discussion with Puppy Zach, but I remember specifically Puppy Zach suggesting or telling me I really had to watch that at least the first couple of movies.
Right.
Yeah.
I just remembered as well. During that year, The Nun 2 also came out, which I had the misfortune of watching. Oh my god! Oh.
I heard it was pretty terrible.
Put it this way: before watching that film, I had a full head of hair. This is what happened.
That film did it.
Look at me.
Why? Because it was so scary, or because it was so bad?
It was. I'll let you watch and be the judge of that. I think, Michael, and you can get
No,
back
I'm
to me.
good.
Well, to be fair, you can say goodbye to your hair and have this to look forward to. So there you go.
Sharad, why would he want to watch it if the consequence is his hair falling out?
Let's live life on the
Your
edge. See
hair,
what
man.
happens. Yeah, see what happens. Live life on the edge, man. Hakuna Matata. There you go.
No, I don't do any of the Conjuring movies. I'm good.
I was
I
actually.
I like them.
Look, I can't remember if if I saw the first one, but the trailer for the latest one. I was really curious about seeing that one, but I didn't end up going to see it.
I mean, like that's the thing, because like it's meant to be a spin-off to The Conjuring because it involves Valak the demon, and it does have an interesting premise because it tends to go obviously on the more religious route, which is interesting. But when you watch it, you're just like, I can feel myself getting older just watching this. And I was like, oh, but hopefully it'll be. I mean, hopefully the next one will be better. Hopefully,
if they make it.
because
You know,
I mean, come on, they'll never stop. Let's be honest. As long as it makes money, they'll just keep churning them out.
it's really interesting to me because I don't know of another horror franchise that has created a universe. So, like, they've got The Conjuring, right? And there's what, like 4 or 5 movies in that series.
I think so.
And then you have Annabelle,
Right.
and then you have The Nun. And isn't there another franchise that's
Let
connected in
me
that?
see. Yes. So we have The Conjuring, we have Annabelle, The Nun. So it's those are the main 3.
It's those 3. Okay.
Yeah, those are the
But
main
still, like, I don't know of another horror franchise or title or anything that has
So, like,
created a universe.
So spin-off kind of movies set in the same universe, but not the same title.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
it probably
the
involves the same characters. Yeah.
It's like the Avengers.
Well, like Final Destination. But they're still all Final Destination movies, right?
Well,
So,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, the Final Destination movies. Well,
They aren't. I mean, the Final Destination
guess,
films aren't exactly directly necessarily connected. You might have, I think, in
that's
Final
true.
Destination 2 and 3, you might have leftover characters, and the character of Death is usually in them, Tony Todd. But
mm,
But 4 and
Okay.
5 are kind of standalone,
yeah,
and then
I guess
6 connects everything.
Yeah. right. So I was just thinking, like, because Prey is a Predator movie, would you count that, or is that all just another Predator film?
I wouldn't actually.
Because there's another one coming out that seems very different as well.
Well,
is that
yeah.
the one,
So
is that
Predator,
the one that's set in ancient Japan? Is that the one that you're talking
No,
about?
there's one that's coming out that's set in another planet, and he goes and he's
Predator
like,
Badlands, right?
yeah,
You're talking about
It's what?
Predator Badlands.
That's it. Okay.
Predator
I-
Badlands.
maybe it's where like he's where the predators actually ends up being the prey or something.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, that's Predator Badlands. So
Wow.
that in that movie, they are. I think they've incorporated the Wayland Yutani. Oh, I've got cat hair in my mouth. The Wayland Yutani Corporation, which, if
Yeah.
you're familiar with Wayland Yutani, it is the company referred to as the company in the Alien movie.
Yep.
So we've already had Alien versus Predator. We've had 2 of those
Mhm.
movies that have connected those, but they've always kind of been like outliers. But this one is like a direct, like, no, they connect. So I guess in that regard, but also like those movies weren't ever designed to be connected. They were always just kind of their own separate things.
Okay.
But retroactively, they've kind of been connected. I know. I have so much hair in my throat. Hairball free.
plot twist, it's not your cat hair, it's your hair falling out of your head from just hearing about the Nun 2.
What if it like okay? So like, you can see this closet door behind me, right?
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
if the closet door opened and like an old naked woman who has been dead for like 40 years just like crawls out of the closet, and it turns out that it's her hair that's in my mouth.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I'm not gonna lie. If that happened, our views would just skyrocket. So that
Yep.
Stay
Yep.
close.
there you go.
All right. Wait, has anyone else listed their 2023 horror films?
Oh no,
yet?
I haven't. Have you, Sharad? You said The
You go ahead.
Nun too.
Yep. I said The Nun. Yeah. So
And
I've
what else?
seen Megan, The Nun,
But
Evil Dead,
Megan was 2022.
early 2023. I think was it.
Nope.
Yes. 2023, January 2023. That's what it says anyway.
Worldwide,
I'll take
because
your word for it.
huh?
It says worldwide, yeah. But all right, and then
IMDb
Evil
check
Dead,
out the difference.
2022.
That's fine.
Evil Dead Rise from the Evil Dead franchise. That was a good one. And what's the other? I think that's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have Five Nights at Freddy's, A Knock at the Cabin, Late Night with the Devil.
Yes.
Yeah, that was so good. Renfield, Scream 6, Totally Killer, which I thought was going to be awesome because it's it's like Back to the Future meets an 80s slasher movie. Sounds awesome. Wasn't great.
What? Oh.
Disney's Haunted Mansion.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Actually,
Oh.
I saw
Godzilla.
it because I'm a big Owen Wilson fan. So anything that he's in, I will go see.
Wow.
Godzilla -1, which was
Oh shit!
excellent.
That yeah, I saw that one too. I don't know. I think that it was more sci-fi than horror, and that's why I didn't categorize it. But yeah, I also
Yeah,
saw it,
that's fine.
and that was one of my top 5 of all films that I saw in 2023. Godzilla
Nice.
-1 is really good.
I'm just listing it because IMDb listed it as horror.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
like, okay.
Fair.
Cocaine Bear and A Haunting in Venice.
I also saw that one and forgot that it was a horror because it was not good. I tried so hard.
I disagree.
Huh? You disagree?
I disagree. I loved it.
Maybe it was just because I was so tired when I went to see it that I really should have gone a different time, but like I was falling asleep, honestly.
With murder
I was
mysteries, man. Murder mystery combined with like the supernatural. Ugh, bring it on. Bring it
Yeah.
on.
More of that, please.
Yeah.
Whereas I did actually like that new, most recent Haunted Mansion movie. I enjoyed it, but maybe that's just because I'm a big Owen Wilson nerd.
It was fine. Ugh. So we have 3 Haunted Mansion movies, right? We have the one with Eddie Murphy.
I
There's
will
3
say
of
I've
them?
not seen the other ones. I'd only seen that one,
Okay.
so I didn't have anything to compare it to.
There's the Eddie Murphy one. There's Muppets Haunted Mansion,
Oh.
and then there's this one. This is the best of the 3, but I want it to feel like the ride. I feel like they're introducing too many characters that don't exist in the ride. And it's not about, I don't know, it just seemed convoluted.
Yeah, I guess if you're wanting it to be more like the ride, I can see why you did not really like it. I saw it as a separate kind of thing. I tried when I go in to see films that I know are based on other things, I don't necessarily need it to be exactly like the original thing that it's based on.
Yeah.
I just kind of go in to
Sure. Yeah.
appreciate it for what it is. Like the same with like the Velma series, which I love, but it's so not like the actual same like Scooby-Doo, right? It's not. But I still
That's
love
what
it.
was.
Oh God, you're not missing
Yeah.
anything. Trust me. It's. I mean, fair enough if you loved it, but it was. Oh God.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
And
it.
I agree
But
with
it is
you. I don't need everything to be like what the thing that it's based on. I get it, but I don't know. There's just it's not hitting the mark for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Well, you listed off more more that I had
hey,
seen that I did not include on my list.
for the newcomer to the horror genre,
There you
I'm
go. Done his
I've-
research.
You're
yeah.
look, it's because you're a movie nerd, and once you get into something, you really get into something. Like that's how I am too. Like a good number of the horror films that I have watched in my lifetime has been this year.
Really?
So,
Oh wow.
Wow.
I've
That's
just watched it, like, been catching up on a few different things.
Is there a reason why you've caught up so much this year?
Part of it was in preparation for this stream. When I was like looking for specifically films that were more modern horrors. Part of it was like because there were so many good horror films released in the theater this year. I was like, I realized that I actually was a bigger fan of horror films than I thought, and I'm like, I should probably watch some more then. So that's why.
2022? Anyone?
2022. And again, these are half of these are ones that I watched this year. Oh no, yeah, maybe half. So Talk to Me, which is an Australian horror film. So good. Prey, which I watched for the first time this year. Scream the reboot, which is Scream 5, but it's just called Scream. I put Megan for 2022 because that's where it was. When I searched for it, it said it was 2022. The Menu, Nope, and Bring It On, Cheer or Die. That was one that I was like, I discovered. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I borrowed that from the library this year because I'm like, I've seen the original Bring It On film, and I'm like, how is this into a horror film? Like, I'm so curious.
How was it?
Probably about what you would expect. For like, there was some interesting parts and some like, whatever. It was okay, but I wouldn't say it's like top-notch horror film. I guess the twist at the end felt unexpected to me. I did not anticipate the killer. Yeah.
Cool. So it's kind of like a murder mystery type, like Scream. How Scream is a murder mystery.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of what's Scream in that type of. Mm-hmm.
What about Stab?
Is that an actual film? Wasn't Stab the in Scream film
Scream, yeah.
based on Scream?
Yeah.
Welcome to Stab 6.
What did you have, Sharad, for 22?
Oh gosh, I had quite a few. If I can bring them up, For 2022, I had Evil Dead Rise. That was a great one because I don't know about is everyone here familiar with the Evil Dead universe?
Yes.
I think I've just seen the first one.
You need to see the second one because
the second one's the best.
Okay.
It is the best because obviously with the first one thing I appreciate it's
Wait. No, I'm thinking of Night of the Living Dead. I have not seen Evil Dead.
okay.
Also, Return of the Living Dead is also mwah.
Okay.
But if you can, try to watch Evil Dead 1, 2, and there's a third one called Army of Darkness. And you need to watch those 3 back to back if you can.
Okay.
Because they're amazing. And so Evil Dead Rise is the official next one in that series with the same director, writer, Sam Raimi. And it's a throwback to the OG series because as the franchise went along, it definitely went on a lot more of the comedic side, which is good fun. But this one was a throwback to horror, as it should be, and it was fun. I mean, though, but as you said, as Mike was saying earlier with the Terrifier films, Evil Dead kind of got a reputation for being a bit on, shall we say, a bit on the redder side, but it's good fun because it plays on all the tropes and it's something that I think you guys should definitely see.
Okay. All right. When I get through all of the other things that I have checked out from the library right now,
we'll table this discussion until 2030 when you hopefully seen it by then.
We'll see. You can sit me down and force me to watch them when I move to Malaysia. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so you said you had a long list of movies for 2022, and then we stopped at Evil Dead Rise. What else do you got?
Sorry. I had, like I said, I made the grave misfortune of, we mentioned this earlier, of watching The Nun 2. Like it just have you ever had this experience where you watch a film and it kind of makes you sit back and you just kind of go, yeah. So that was it for me. So I think that film just made me want to stay away from the Conjuring franchise. Have you guys ever watched a film in a series where you just go, this isn't it?
I'm sure I have. I just can't think of off the top of my head. If it comes to me, I'll let you know.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. I remember just watching it and just going, this is like one thing I admire about horror films is that it's all about atmosphere and the slow build. One thing I don't like is the jump scare. Like that every single time there's a character turns, there's the camera tilt, the little sound, and I'm just like, dude, like, what are we doing? I'm not 11 years old.
It's very jarring to the nervous system.
It is, and it's like fool me once, great. Fool me 20 times, right? I'm tapping out. We're still in the first act, and yeah. So it's.
If it's that many times, it's a lot. I'm fine with it if it's just a couple in the film or a few, but like every 20 seconds, no.
Yeah.
I do appreciate when you have that shot of like it's the the profile of the person and they're standing in front of the refrigerator and they open the refrigerator door, kind of blocking the view, and then they close the refrigerator door, and you, the viewer, are expecting for there's something to be there, but nothing's there.
Not. Yeah, that happens a lot.
The fake out.
Yeah, I love that because it's building the tension.
And they always make it seem like it's gonna happen with the music as well.
either with music or the absence of music.
Yeah. I feel like I'm constantly like, there's like, especially if like there's a character looking in the mirror and you're like looking at them while they're looking in the mirror and you're looking at like the open door behind them or whatever. It's like there's gonna be something that's gonna pop out and it just doesn't happen.
It's a cinematographer's trope. The fact is, if you have any figure, whether it's a character, a tree, a chair, whatever, if there's a huge absence of like positive space, there's a whole bunch. You're naturally going to be like, all right, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah, what's happening over there? Yeah.
So it's smart.
Yeah. All right. Is that all your list of 2022?
Yeah, I think so. Because otherwise, like I said, I'm quite happy to admit this to the world. I'm a bit of a what you might call a massive pussy. So like I'm a massive scaredy cat. So
It's interesting considering I've watched horror films specifically because you recommended them to me, Sharad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I'll be right back.
Oh my goodness, Mike is trying to creep us out. Good one, Mike. Good one.
I totally just freaked my cat out.
Oh wow. I had no idea that that's what you were planning on doing. You disappeared. You're just like, be right back. All right. All right. You didn't list your 2022 ones yet.
No. So 2022, same as you, Scream 5 or Scream the reboot. Were you so scared that you had to run away?
I did. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to love you and leave you, I'm afraid. So I'm going to dash off. But thank you so much for having me. Now, excuse me, I'm going to go and change my pants. So, yes.
He was that scared. All right. Well, we will continue.
And Scream 5. X. If you've seen
I haven't
X.
heard of that one.
It's these kids in the 1970s who go to somebody's farm to film a porno, and then turns out there's like the guy who owns the farm. They think that he's like a psycho killer and is like picking them off one by one.
Wow.
It's
okay.
It's actually really good. Crimes of the Future. Nope. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Prey. Barbarian. Smile. My Best Friend's Exorcism, which was really fun. Hellraiser, the reboot. Halloween Ends. The Menu. Megan, and The Blackening. I saw a lot.
That's quite a list. Yeah. Yeah.
My Best Friend's Exorcism, Hellraiser, The Menu, The Blackening, obviously Megan. I really liked Smile. I liked almost all of these movies.
I really want to watch The Smile. I haven't seen. What's your comments on Nope?
It was fine. I
really liked it.
When M. Night Shyamalan did Sixth Sense, everyone lost their minds. Like, this is the craziest, best movie ever. Blah! And then he did Unbreakable, and I my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, this is so good. And then he did Signs, and everyone lost their mind for Signs. But I was just like,
I wasn't that into Signs. Yeah.
Fine. Nope. I had the same experience with.
Okay.
I was like, Jordan Peele's Get Out was mind blowing. It was so good. Us, I liked because the creepiness of it. I was attracted to. The story was dumb and kind of convoluted, but it was creepy, and I liked that. But then Nope, it was a fine movie. But
I like the suspense of it.
There was good suspense. I will give you that. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. The Blackening was really fun. In fact, I think I'm gonna do for rewatch because that was a really fun movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I only have a couple for 2021.
I have 5 for 21 and 6 for 2000.
Wow, 2020. That's a lot.
Not a lot. Well, compared to my other massive lists,
yeah. There may be others. I didn't do a going through all of the horror films that I probably could have added, so you might come up with others that I didn't think of. But for 2021, I just have the Djinn, which again I just watched this year, and then Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh yeah.
which I loved. It was a great rebeat.
I really liked it. I thought it was a really good movie. I don't think it was a great Ghostbusters movie.
Interesting.
And the only reason I say that is it wasn't all that fun. It was good. It was a really good story, but it didn't have the fun of other Ghostbusters films.
Okay.
For me, at least. I wanted the theme song. A lot, and it wasn't there. I think we played it once or maybe
Yeah.
twice, including the end credits, but the music was it was fine. Yeah. So, and like I think about the sequence where Finn Wolfhard gets his sister in the car, and he fixed the car, and I think Podcast was in the car. I can't remember if anybody else was in the car. But then they find the metal muncher around town, and Grace like puts the chair out, and they flip the siren on, and it's like a fun sequence, but it needed that digga-dana dana digga-digga-dana, and it didn't have that, and it felt empty.
That's
to
fair.
me,
Yeah.
at least. So,
all right. Well, you want to rattle off your 2021 and 2020, and I'll let you know if I'm like, oh, I did see that one.
Did you do 2020 as well?
I don't think I saw any in 2020.
Oh.
Or I don't have any listed down here.
Old, Malignant, which freaked me out. Halloween Kills, Last Night in Soho, The Black Phone, which The Black Phone is really good. It's
you mentioned that earlier.
2020 was The Invisible Man, The New Mutants, which I felt weird about.
I did see it. I actually really loved that film. I know a lot of people hated on it, but I thought this is great. Yeah, that one I saw.
Scare Me, which if you haven't seen Scare Me, you should watch Scare Me. It's so good. I'll tell you about it in a second. Freaky, which also, that's a great movie. A Quiet Place Part 2, and Psycho Gorman, which is a low-budget movie about this little girl who possesses this amulet. She's in possession of this amulet that controls this alien that crash lands on Earth, who's like a battle warrior and is here to like kill everyone on planet Earth. But because the little girl has the amulet, he can't do anything. So it's really funny. But yeah, Scare Me. I can't remember the people who were in it. Like I can see their faces, but I don't know their names. So it's a guy and a girl who are both writers. It's a story. This guy goes to the woods, to like this cabin in the woods, to finish his horror novel, right? But he has writer's block, and also he's not a very good writer. And his cabin is literally, it just so happens that his cabin is right across the street from this other woman who comes to the cabin, who's also a horror novelist, but she's like well published and well known. She's like an up and coming Stephen King, basically, right? And so in the middle of the night, the power goes out, and she's like, "Hey, well, let's go to this other jabroni's place, and let's just hang out. Let's tell ghost stories." And so the whole movie is them telling ghost stories to each other, and her trying to help him tell a better ghost story. But the way that they do it, they're acting out the stories as they're telling it, but there's so much drama behind how, and cinematography of how they tell the story. It's really inventive. It's really, really good. And then Freaky. Are you familiar with Freaky? Is Vince
No,
Vaughn?
I did see it come up when I was looking at the film list, but I'm not familiar with it at all.
It's really fun. Did you ever see Happy Death Day?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's another real gem. So there's a series of these movies, and I mentioned Totally Killer earlier, where they're taking like classic um, horror genre characters or tropes or stuff like that. Like in this case, it's like a Michael Myers, basically, right? So what happens if you combine Michael Myers with Freaky Friday?
Okay.
And like the psycho killer and like the star cheerleader of the high school switch bodies. It's like it's so fun. It's
That
just so
sounds
fun.
that sounds interesting. The thing is, like when I saw the title Freaky, I was like, I wonder if that's connected to Freaky Friday. Like that was just
It
the
is.
first thing that came to
It is.
my head. So that's interesting.
Death Day is another one where it's uh, again it's a murder mystery of who is murdering the main protagonist, but every single time she gets killed, it's Groundhog's Day, so she keeps
Okay.
reliving the
Yeah.
same day over and over and over again. But yeah, there's like all these classic horror tropes, and they're just fun. It's really, really fun. Why are you yawning? That's my job.
No, that's I know it's later for you. I don't know. I've not been sleeping well. That's probably why. All right. My dad has a few comments for me to bring up, and then we can discuss specific films that we've both seen. I think would be fun to do. So my dad says, you may have covered before I came in. I'm wondering about humanity's seeking fearful experiences. Humans seeking fearful experiences like horror films, extreme sports, carnival rides, deformed people, etc. Yeah, we didn't talk about, huh?
Is there more to that comment, or is that the only one?
He also, this may be continued, also humorous horror as tension and tension release. Perhaps a future discussion. It goes back to the fact that people keep going back to doing things that could be uncomfortable. And I don't know if this is also connected, but people repeat things because they get something from it. It comes up in psychology discussions. I think some people go for it because it's a way to experience those things with like from a safe distance. Or some people just like being scared. There are something I've heard about. I don't know if this is actually a thing, but like there's this, maybe it's just a trope of like guys taking girls to go see horror films because women get like, there's that sexual attraction that happens as a result of being scared and having like the guy that's there to like protect them during that kind of sequence of events or whatever they're seeing. um yeah, I don't know, those are my thoughts.
Well, I do think that, like, as human beings, we have a natural proclivity towards the macabre, towards death. Like, what is death, right? Nobody really knows, except for the people who've experienced it. Nobody really, really knows. And I think so there's the curiosity with there's morbid curiosity of like what is it like? Here's a fear of mine. So what would that look like to be played out on screen? Not that I ever want to be hunted down by a psycho killer, but like what would that look like in a controlled environment? And then also there are I do think that a lot of horror films come as morality tales
Mm,
or cautionary tales. Be careful of what you wish for, which is the monkey's paw, right? One
mm,
of the most classic horror stories in literature, the monkey's paw. Be careful what you wish for, because it comes at a price.
mhm.
Um, but also, uh, you know, if we're living in more of the 1960s, 1970s, uh, uh, no sex before marriage kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like
Well,
there's
those
those,
are the tropes that are kind of brought up in Scream, right? It's like,
yeah,
if as long as you're a virgin, you're safe.
yeah,
As soon as you
exactly,
have
yeah.
sex, then you are going to be a victim of the psycho killer.
But also, I think like if you look at movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, the the only way that Nancy is able to defeat Freddy Krueger is by making the decision, I'm not going to let you scare me.
Hmm.
And that power of taking ownership of your own fear is
Hmm.
like that it's not the cautionary tale, but that's the morality tale of uh that's the positive side of things.
Hmm.
Um that's the life lesson. So I think it's a combination of a whole bunch of stuff. We love to see, we want the thing that we can't have. And in this case, we want to see the thing that we're not allowed to see. So
Right.
there's that just morbid curiosity. Um, uh, but then there's like the morality tales and all that stuff, and kind of shining a light. Look at Civil War, the movie Civil War. It's not really a horror film, but it very much is horrific in in the current political landscape. If you're not familiar with the movie, the basic idea is that there is a sitting president of the United States who has torn the country apart into two different factions. And and now the United States of America is at war with itself. Not socially, like they're actually at
Yeah,
war
yeah.
with each guns and shooting and whatever. So the movie follows the story, or follows um, what's her face, Kirsten Dunst, as a photographer. She's like the Annie Lennox of photographers. Annie Lennox? No, she's a singer. Annie Leibovitz. Sorry, she's like the Annie Leibovitz of photographers. And so she's going down to Washington D.C. because the press got intel that someone is going to break into the White House to murder the president of the United States to end this civil war, and she wants to be there to capture it on camera. Um, so like while that isn't a horror film per se, it does shine a mirror up against, or hold a mirror up against society and say, guys, this is what we might become. So
Mm.
chill the fuck out. So yeah, I think there's a lot to horror films that we can learn.
Right. My dad says, here, I click that. Some interesting points. Thank you. All right. Well, I would like to talk about some specific films. Like specifically, I did want to have this so we have an open discussion about Heretic, because you guys, you and Sharad had both recommended it to me. Do you want to have like some discussion for our audience who is clearly just my dad right now, but anyone who might be popping in later on that might have or might be
About
curious?
Heretic?
Yeah.
So
What was it that drew you to it and um, that
so I
made
grew
it
up
like,
Mormon.
yes.
I grew up Mormon, and so the movie is about two Mormon missionaries who get uh, kind of persuaded to go deeper and deeper into this guy's house. Um, the first bit of the movie was a little it wasn't exactly true to Mormon culture. So like the opening scene, I mean, I guess it's a spoiler, but it's also like it's not pertinent to the rest of the movie, and it's literally the opening scene. Two female Mormon missionaries are sitting on a park bench talking about their own sexuality.
Mm.
That, or not sexuality, their own sex history, body count kind of thing. That is something that two female Mormon missionaries in general would not talk about.
Yeah.
That is not even remotely something that would happen. I'm not saying it would never happen, but if you're trying, like, why include that bit of information if you're trying to paint these individuals as run-of-the-mill people? Because that information doesn't come up later in the movie. It's there for like character development, but like
maybe the filmmakers wanted to make the Mormon characters relatable to non-Mormons.
I get maybe. But I don't know. Maybe you could have found a different way. Also, them. So there are rules as missionaries, and they, to a point, they actually kind of followed the rules of because they're two women going into a single man's house. Now they kept asking. In one of the opening scenes when they go into this guy's house, is your wife here? Is there a female representation, someone that can be in the room with us? That is indicative. But what is not indicative, they had an appointment with this guy, and he does not have a female companion with him. So they never would have entered the house in the first place. Had they knocked on the door, they would have gone in for like 15 minutes. But then after 15 minutes, you have to go. You have to leave. Yeah, because those are just the rules. There's safety rules, really, which I think are actually pretty smart. But if you had a pre-existing appointment with this guy, you would not have entered the house unless he had female representation there. Yeah, female companion there. So minor things.
Minor
Once
things.
you can kind of get past that, I thought it was. Are we talking spoilers on Heretic?
We'll just say spoiler alert. So if anyone's watching and they don't want the spoilers, they can go pause. And then if they want to come back, look, let's just peace sign for you can come back.
Right, you got it. So yeah, like I thought
he does try to, like, he says that his wife is just in the other room, and that's how he convinces them to come in. So even though they don't see him, see her.
Yeah. I love how the tension progresses and how the stakes keep getting upped a little bit at a time. And this movie plays out in sections too. So like it starts in the living room of this guy, and then they have to make the decision after they realize that all the doors were locked. And I thought I'm so excited. I thought it was such a brilliant idea that they pull out their cell phone to like call someone.
Oh yeah.
No service.
Yeah.
It's like, that's such a wonderful point.
They really do try. Yeah.
Like that's how psychotic this guy is. And then they have to make the decision: do we stay where we are, or do we go through the house, through the dark hallway that we don't know what's in there? And then there's that whole like game room section, right? Do you go through the left door or through the right door? Spoiler alert, it doesn't matter. Because it leads
Yes, yes.
I thought that whole scene, that whole sequence was so fascinating in terms of just the psychology of like, what would you do? What would you do in this situation? I am the person you've never met before, and I'm telling you, this door leads to safety and that door leads to danger. But do you believe me? Do you trust me? Um, well, they both lead to danger. Whoa. And then just
But
the
there's the moral or religious question aspect to it. Like, do you believe in your God or do you not, kind of thing, right? There's that aspect to it. And like he's deliberately challenging their faith through all of that.
which in such a high stakes situation, the way both missionaries responded, I have known people like that who have responded in both respective ways that those two women did. One, the person you don't expect to double down on their religion does, and the one you do expect doesn't. And it's so fascinating the way that people make decisions. I thought that was really, really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And then
the next
everything
section.
they get down to the dungeon.
Oh man, the basement scene or sequence in particular was just like, holy shit. I know.
And then there's the sub basement.
Yes.
Which, I mean, she gets down there and then there's all these cages with all these other women down there for whatever reason. And then she comes back up.
Replacements of, right?
Oh man, I can't remember exactly what was the purpose that he was holding all those women in cages.
Because the one that was like, I'm like going to kill this woman and then she's going to bring her back from the dead. So they were just replacements for once the woman is killed, there's another one to bring back.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was all for like the test of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. To get you, like, do you really believe what you are preaching?
Yeah.
Do you believe? But also here's an alternate source of magic, so to speak. So like, is your God real if my God can do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fascinating. I was so taken with that movie. How about you? Like, what were your like takeaways
from it? Like I said, that whole basement sequence with the testing of the faith and like killing the woman and then bringing her back, and then there was the one girl with the she had a birth control implant in her arm, I think. And
right, yeah.
And that was like how I just remember that being like a whole thing, and I was like, oh, and like I think that was part of his justification for killing her or something. Right. It's been a few months since I've seen it now. But yeah, I remember being like, oh, I know what that is because I have one.
In your arm?
Yeah. I have
I've never heard of birth control in your
implant
arm.
in my arm. Lost for 5 years. Yeah.
What, like, how does it work?
It just like there's hormones in it that impacts your body. It is more effective than sterilization, is what my doctor said. I'm like, why do not more people do this instead of the pill that you have to take every single day? Or the painful IUD or whatever.
People love their IUDs.
I do not. I had one once and it did not last very long. My body expelled it.
Boo.
Yeah, yeah.
Boo.
But that is not a conversation for this stream, so.
No. But all the
Um,
blood that comes from it, it's
yeah.
all connected.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
is it?
What other movies?
Why is it not a horror movie about period blood? Like there should be.
Oh, I think there are.
Really?
I think there are.
I
I'll have to
have
look
not
them
seen
up.
any in any case. Right. So Sinners was the other one that you and Sharad like recommended me and told me to go and see, and I agree. That was like a great film. I don't know what else to say about it though. Vampires.
I find it fascinating whenever people can take like the classic trope of vampires or werewolves or whatever, and reinvent
Mhm.
that trope or that take or genre or whatever. And Ryan Coogler did it.
The other good thing about it was like time period that it was set in as well. And yeah, and that is specifically with like it being a black cast and all of that. It's just
There's a YouTuber that I follow religiously about movies, and in the past he's talked about like the more diversity we get in movies and television shows, the more different the storytelling gets, and we can go down different roads or whatever. And I actually got into not an argument, but into a discussion with a friend of mine about that. And I was just reiterating what this guy on YouTube said, and my friend kept coming back with like, all stories are the same. There's only like 4 stories. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're not creating anything new. They just happen to be black or whatever, right? And I think Sinners is one of the quintessential examples of that. Of, hey, it's just a vampire story, but if they were all white people in
it wouldn't be the
the
same.
South, it would be a completely different
Yeah,
story.
absolutely.
Completely different story.
Yeah.
It basically would be an Anne Rice novel, right?
Yeah.
You just wait for Lestat to show up, but it was so unique and inventive, and it infused so much Black culture from that time period into the movie that it was so rich with detail, and it was so enjoyable to watch. And the music, are you kidding me? The music of that movie was, because that music played a character in the film. It was so well done. It was so well done. His music.
Yeah, I thought it had some really great twisty aspects as well. There was like unexpected things, like the number of people that got turned. Yeah, that like should have been safe. Anyway, I don't. Oh, I probably spoil. I didn't do the peace sign for when we stopped doing spoilers about Heretic. Doesn't matter. No, I'm like, we're about to go into spoilers for Sinners now.
We're firmly into spoilers at this point.
Yeah.
But you bring up a really interesting point, which is there are people that got turned that never should have been turned. And when you're looking at like rebooting or remaking a property or franchise or whatever, and you ask yourself the question, why now? I think Sinners also, this is another thing that I think is so brilliant about the film. In the current political landscape that we're in, you see people who are, I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I'm just going to say it.
Do it.
There are people who are pro MAGA that just blow your minds, and when you find out, you're like, hang on, they're MAGA? What are you talking about? And this movie kind of points that out. There are people who got turned into vampires that never should have been turned into vampires. You should have had better common sense to stay out of that situation or to think ahead, but you never do. They never did. And so they found themselves in a situation where the better thing is the thing that's killing them.
Yeah. One of the scenes that I really loved, though, was the realization when their like door guy got turned and he was like needed the invitation to come back in, and there was that whole conversation. It was like, wait a minute, why do you need the fucking invitation? Like, you know?
And like you knew he got turned. Like
Yes.
you just knew.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. I want to see that again. It was so good. What about weapons?
Oh God, that was so good. Yeah, that's the most recent one that I saw, I think, from the list. But one of the things I loved about it was, and there have been a number of films that have done this, like told the story from different points of view, and then it all comes together at the end. So that was one aspect that I thought this movie did well, because they don't always go well. But this one did it really well, and then the order of who they chose to follow and where they chose to cut the character's storyline, so because you were going to come back to it later on, was all great. And then like figuring out the mystery of what was going on through the different points of view that you were following as well was nice to see the slow reveal through the different points of view.
Yeah. Because there was that sequence where, again, spoilers, that sequence where Benedict Wong, sorry, Julia Garner was at the gas station and she was filling up her car with gas.
Oh my God,
and then
that scene.
Roland comes over to be like, hey, you listen here, bitch, blah, blah, blah. And then Benedict Wong, you don't even see it. Like, you see it coming, but you don't see it coming. And he's just beeline straight for it. And you're like, wait a second.
And you know who he is at that point. It's like, why the fuck is he doing this now?
Yeah. And then it cuts to like 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. And I think it cuts to him in his office with the witch lady sitting like across from him, having a conversation about that little boy's parents. And it was just, oh my gosh, that movie was just so clever.
Yeah.
It was so interesting.
Yeah. And then the scene where she is in his home with his husband as well, and is like, oh my God, the reveal in that scene. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for like witch stuff, what it is, but I'm very much attracted to stories about witches and covens and stuff like that. I just find it so fascinating.
Yeah. Next one, you want to discuss? Do you want to talk about Companion? I loved Companion.
Sure.
I loved it so much that I like did a short video video reveal that I posted on social media, where it's like, this is a great film. I think it's anyone would love it unless you're a straight cis white guy. No, an entitled straight cis white guy. Like, I had to be clear. Like, if you feel entitled, because there's plenty of great straight cis white guys, but if you're entitled as well, you're probably not going to like the film. But for everyone else,
I guess that explains why I didn't love it. I liked it. I liked it. It wasn't so like Megan was fun and it was about something. This was about something. I didn't find it fun.
Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be fun though. I think it was a lot more about like really male entitlement and their need for control over their partner. Like that's what it was really about.
Sure.
And it wasn't just the main character and his AI robot girlfriend. Like everyone who had an AI robot like was in the same kind of way, even if they tried to pretend that they weren't. Yeah, so it was very much about the lesson to me in the sexual aspect and male entitlement and what they feel like that they deserve in a relationship and
100%. I agree with all of that. But let me ask you this. How many times do you see yourself rewatching this movie?
I will absolutely watch it again. Yeah, I ended up buying it when I got a really good sale. So I'm keen to watch it again.
I only ask that because to me it doesn't seem it's not the kind of movie that I would want to rewatch. Not for its subject matter, but just the storytelling itself. It just wasn't. It didn't grab me, I guess, in the same way that it grabbed you.
That's fair.
Or male predators for that matter.
No, it did feel more like more of a horror film directed for a female audience in a way. So, and I'm not saying that you're the entitled kind of dude that.
No, but also I'm not the target audience.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my take on why it may not have felt as rewatchable for you, but as a woman who has experienced like coercion and control and that sort of thing, it's a way to kind of escape and also have some payback. you know?
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. So one of the reasons that I bring that question up is I feel like this is an aesthetic that is becoming more and more common within modern storytelling in general, which is there's a lot of movies out there that don't have a high rewatchability factor.
Yeah, that's fair. I've definitely had those experiences where like, this is a good film, don't need to watch it again.
Yeah, right. And I don't know exactly why that is. Yeah, I'm not sure what's there.
No idea. But speaking of like that kind of messaging, you mentioned earlier the film Blink Twice, which has very similar messaging of it as well.
That I do think has a much higher rewatchability factor, for me at least.
Well, there's the aspect of like, you can piece things together better afterward. Like once you know how it ends and then rewatching the beginning is like, oh, right? Like
there's a mystery factor to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Piecing it all together.
That's
I loved that movie so much. Channing Tatum played such a great villain, but like, it's not that he was just a villain. He played his role, as did the majority of the men in that movie, as everyday people who are sexual assault predators. And to them, it's just no big deal. Oh yeah. You can have your way with people as long as you drug them, and you're like, as
And
long as you
make
don't.
them forget. As
Yeah,
long as they don't remember afterwards.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. The parts that I'm thinking of that is like, oh, like, you know, when she meets the therapist again and he doesn't remember her. Like he has been drugged as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Such a yeah. And then like the end reveal is that, again, spoilers. The end reveal is that this is a game that he has been playing with her for years,
Yeah.
and she has no idea.
Yeah.
Like that is, well, of course she has her revenge at the end, but like, whoa, that revelation just like
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
It was
like
so good.
very,
So
very intense.
yeah.
My dad's left us another comment, so I'll bring that up. He says, my recent favorite comedy horrors introduced to me by Dom's brother, so my brother, called Bubba Hotep with Ozzie Davis as John F. Kennedy and Bruce Campbell in a senior's home. I feel like I've heard of it, but I haven't seen
I
it.
am well familiar with Bubba Hotep. So Bruce Campbell basically plays Elvis, or an Elvis impersonator, or someone who looks like Elvis. It's deliberately ambiguous, but let's be honest, it's Elvis. And there is it's not a zombie outbreak, but it's also not a zombie outbreak. I think it's probably more like demonic in nature. And
Okay.
I believe now, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been quite a long time since I've seen this movie, a very, very long time. But the guy who plays JFK, and I believe that it's like Elvis, like an Elvis person and a JFK person who are roommates, and there's kind of like this demonic being who is the Baba Hotep. Wasn't that like an Egyptian demon or something like that?
It might be.
Something like that. Anyway, comes out to like terrorize the seniors' home, and of course Bruce Campbell gets his Elvis self together and kicks Bubba Hotep's ass in the seniors' home. It's so funny and silly and ridiculous, but yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, another one to check out. Are there any other films from our list that you are interested in discussing?
Let's see. We did Blink twice. Did you see Nosferatu?
No. I've seen the original, the very first one, the silent movie era one. But no, that doesn't count.
Renfield. Have you seen Renfield?
No, I know what the poster looks like. Is that a comedy horror film? Because that's how it looks like. Okay.
So Nicolas Cage plays Dracula, and Nicholas Hoult plays Renfield, who, if you're familiar with, the dynamics, Renfield is Dracula's familiar, and Dracula just gets him to do all of his bidding. So Renfield, it takes place in like the modern world. Renfield kind of snaps out of his brainwashing from Dracula, and he realizes, holy shit, Dracula's having me do some really bad stuff. And it's been going on for a long time. So he goes to therapy. Yeah. He goes to group therapy to try to get help. And then in the middle of group therapy, Dracula shows up and he goes, "Oh, Renfield!" And of course, he like slaughters and there's so much more. There's so much more. The whole movie is just Renfield trying to get away from Dracula, and it's so silly and it's so gory. It's just fun. It's just fun. Frank, I highly recommend Renfield. It's a really funny movie.
Speaking of
Also,
comedy horrors.
speaking of comedy horrors,
Mm.
in that same vein, I also recommend 2022's My Best Friend's Exorcism. Again, very funny. Um, it's just, yeah, I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's just two teenage girls, one who gets possessed by a demon, and there's a very inept priest who's like, yeah, let's do it, like, yeah, woo, let's exorcise this demon, right? And he's like trying to do it for the Instagrams, but it's really funny. It's a really fun movie that also has a high rewatchability. What else is just fun? Oh, Freaky, obviously, which I already talked about. It's like Freaky Friday meets Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Scare Me was also a really fun movie. The
Why
Blackening.
I was going to say, why don't we talk about The Menu? That was one that we both watched, right?
Yeah.
So many people recommended that one to me. I feel like, and I did not know what to expect going in, and I was like, holy shit. So if there are any viewers who are not familiar with the film, is basically like these rich hoity-toity people go to this special restaurant.
Also, Nicholas Hoult.
I don't know. Do you want to go into more detail about it?
No, you're doing a great job.
My memory of it is not the best. Also,
yeah. So Nicholas Hoult. It starts off with Nicholas Hoult, and he has 2 tickets to this extraordinarily rich, extravagant dining experience where the food not only is art, but the experience of consuming the food also is art.
yes.
And Ralph Fiennes plays like the head chef, and he's like the mastermind. He's so well renowned around the world. He is regarded as the greatest chef that has ever lived, period. So he has like this private island that you have to be either helicoptered into. Was it a helicopter or was it a boat? It might have been both. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Anyway,
I know there was you couldn't really escape.
So Nicholas Hoult brings his date to this place, and she, Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy is so disenfranchised. She's like, I don't get it. I just like a good cheeseburger. Like, I'm not. Fancy food is great, but also like, this experience is lost.
It's so offensive to the chef.
Yeah.
Like anything that offends him is like his reactions to anything that offends him is just like, holy shit.
And there's like some weird stuff it's off, just a little bit off throughout the first half. And you can't quite figure out what's going on. You just know that something's weird, something's off. And I'll tell the big spoiler of the middle of the film, and then I'll just kind of leave it. One of the cooks from the back kitchen comes out, and you're like, up until this point in the movie, you're just kind of like, oh, like this is an okay movie, like, all right, woo, hoity-toity, whatever. And then one of the cooks comes out and puts a gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger, and his brains go flying everywhere. His body just collapses on the floor. And that was part of the dining experience. And there's so much more.
Yeah.
Like that, nobody saw that moment coming. It was so shocking.
So
'Cause it was-
shocking. And like rich people pay to have this kind of experience.
Mhm.
And like, but nobody knows how to react to it either. They're like, do I just sit? Is this part of the experience, or is this something that we need to be calling 911 about? You know?
It was because up until this point in the movie, it was like it wasn't boring per se, but it was like
Slow.
you were getting the gist of it. It was a little slow. Yes, it was slow.
Mhm.
And then that moment happens and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's
All right,
so
my dad has left us a few more comments here. So he says, "A mummy killing people in the seniors' home." So this is the Baba Hotep. The Ozzy Davis character is mostly seen as suffering a mental problem. That's the John F. Kennedy character.
Yeah.
And then he says, "I've seen Renfield. A very early, funny version had Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein."
I got halfway into that movie and I can't remember what happened, but something or maybe I did finish it. I don't remember how it ends though, but it was fine.
Fair. And then he also says some early Charles Chan videos kind of have some of these elements for next week.
Oh yes,
For
Charlie Chan.
long because next week we'll be discussing horror movies from any time period, not just the modern day ones. I have a bunch of Halloween movies to watch / rewatch. I actually have only seen the first Halloween film, plus Halloween H2O, and Halloween Resurrection. Those are the Halloween movies I've seen. So I need to watch a few more.
Somebody on the internet a few years ago wrote an explanation of all of the Halloween movies. I'll have to find it and I'll bring it up next week because it so perfectly describes the absurdity of all the sequels that keep getting retconned. There is no continuity, but there's definitely continuity, but it doesn't make sense.
That's
It's
funny.
so yeah, I gotta find it.
A couple of years ago during Halloween or October 2023, one of my neighbors on my street had a Michael Myers, like full life-size Michael Myers, like standing on their porch. And I'm like, this is the creepiest fucking Halloween decorations I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like the costume was perfect, like the mask, the jumpsuit, the hair, like all of it. It was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the 2018 reboot next week, but you know,
I have not seen them, but you're welcome to tell me about it next week. Because yeah, there are definitely other films in the like from 2000 to 2020 that would be interesting to discuss. Not that I've seen a huge a number of them, but like I mentioned Missing earlier, which was like the follow-up to Searching, and I loved Searching as well. So yeah, Missing, if you're not familiar with it, it's filmed in the same kind of way that Searching is, where the entire story is told through screens, phone screens, computer screens, video chats and all of that kind of thing.
YouTube
but
clips.
Yes, but the story is different because it involves I think her mother has gone on a vacation somewhere and she's trying to find out what happened to her or something. Yeah. Anyway, I love that kind of storytelling where this if it's done well, like I don't think it's always done well, but if it's done well, being able to see the story through that kind of method is it's great. So
It's
Searching did it
unique.
well as well. Yeah.
It was very unique. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, my dad left another comment for us here. He says, one potential horror is the Mel Gibson Jesus Christ Part 2, Christ Descends to Hell parts.
What?
Was it really? Was that a thing? Like a follow-up to Passion of the Christ?
Because I know they're doing a sequel to Passion of the Christ. But that sounds very different.
I don't know.
I need more explanation.
He also says, your thoughts on Hellboy. The comic book character Hellboy?
So there have been 4 Hellboy movies made. 2 by Guillermo del Toro. The third one that came out last year or 2 years ago, might have been 2 years ago, with David Harbour. And then there is a fan film called Hellboy the Crooked Man, which is based on one of the Mike Mignola, comics. I haven't seen that one yet, but from what I hear, it's like a high production value for a fan film. So much so that it actually got a theatrical release.
Interesting.
But I never cared for the 2 Ron Perlman, Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies. I love the idea of Hellboy. I just didn't like the aesthetic that Guillermo del Toro made or created in those films. I really liked the David Harbour movie. I really liked it a lot. I liked how creepy it was. I thought David Harbour was an amazing Hellboy. I love the visual effect in that movie, but for whatever reason, the rest of the world universally hated that movie, and I don't really understand why, because I thought it was so well done. But yeah, I haven't seen the fan film, The Crooked Man yet. So
I'm glad that you mentioned it was Ron Perlman, because I thought it was somebody else, and then I would have embarrassed myself.
Who did you think it was?
Kelsey Grammer. Maybe I was just thinking because he played Beast in X-Men and is like a similar kind of.
I would
costuming.
Actually really love to have seen a Kelsey Grammer Hellboy. That would have been so
maybe
bad.
This is my like Mandela effect kind of thing. That there was like in another universe, Kelsey Grammer played Hellboy.
I feel like if Kelsey Grammer played Hellboy, that would be right up there with Angelina Jolie playing Laura Croft.
Yeah.
I think it would be that quality. Which is to say,
I'm not really that familiar with Ron Perlman, but what's funny about it is like I saw a movie with him just today. Like I didn't know who he was.
What movie?
Frankie Goes Boom. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's I checked it out because it has Chris O'Dowd in it. And yeah, it was an interesting film.
Is it worth watching?
I have mixed feelings about it, but it had some good commentary on in terms of consent and sex tapes and and that sort of things. It's about like these 2 brothers. One of them has just gotten out of rehab. He's 90 days sober, and like he is a director, but like he films stuff with his brother and like shares it without his brother's consent. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Not a horror film, though.
Did you ever see the I think it was 2021 or 22 television series, limited series, Pam and Tommy.
No,
About Pam.
but about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. No, I didn't see it, but I've heard of it.
It was really good. It was really, really good. Very sexual, but also it directly addresses.
They were the first people that, like, famous people that had like a sex tape that got like widely shared, right?
Yeah. And it was, even though Tommy Lee was kind of an asshole, they tell the story of how that sex tape got released, and it was neither one of their faults. It was Tommy Lee was an asshole to one of his construction contract workers, and after the construction workers had done all this work on his house, he refused to pay them because he said, "You did it wrong. You can't follow my instructions. I'm not paying you," which is a real asshole thing to do. So as payback, this construction worker in the limited series played by Seth Rogen breaks into Tommy Lee's house and steals a gun safe that he has in the basement. They break into it, open it up, and they find that sex tape.
Wow.
And they're like, "Yo!" And it was right around the time that the internet was starting to become a thing. So none of the porn distributors wanted anything to do with this, but because the online porn industry was looking for content, because no one really trusted it yet, they uploaded it to the internet, and this dude's porn site just erupted overnight almost.
That's crazy.
So that's how the sex tape got released.
Yeah. All right. My dad said, yes, lots to talk about. I don't remember. That might have been when we were talking about Hellboy. And he also says, check out YouTube as Mel Gibson, as he's given various stories, but most recent are about the decent. Maybe he hasn't finished. I probably pulled it up too soon. He's probably halfway through. Yeah. Any other like standout films, like horror films from the last 5 years that you want to bring up?
The Blackening. There aren't enough horror films that center around Black stories and Black culture, and The Blackening is definitely one. And it feels like a horror movie, but it also feels like a comedy, but it has some incredible commentary attached to it. We've all seen like that classic trope of don't go down into the basement, don't play with the old relic, right?
Yeah,
of course they do. But the killer, who is, it's kind of like a Saw movie, but like, well, it's not a Saw movie. It has the idea of what the Saw movies are, in that like these people are trapped in a cabin, and there's booby traps all over the place. But in order to evade the booby traps, you have to answer questions about Black culture, and it's an entirely Black cast. They have to answer questions about Black culture. And some of them have some skewed perspectives.
Interesting.
And it kind of plays into that idea that, like, we've all heard people talk about the Black experience. Mm-hmm. Well, there is no such thing as the Black experience, because each person of color experiences their racial identity in a different way. Same thing with white people. I experience being white different from how you experience being white, right? And that has to do with our surroundings, our backgrounds. the people that we associate with, all that stuff, right? And so this movie, The Blackening, while being very, very funny and very, very entertaining, has some very poignant things to say on the matter.
Yeah,
I love
we've really delved into some good horror movies that have those poignant messages.
Yeah.
So many of those, like maybe that is really what defines more modern horror movies, is the more poignant messaging.
social commentary.
Yeah, there's a lot more social and much more variety of social commentary. I feel like it may have even started with Get Out. Like I feel Get Out like really drove that kind of home.
Yeah.
That's the first one I remember that having like starting with that kind of thing.
Well,
you mentioned
social
go ahead.
commentary is in horror films for a very long time.
But in terms of the shift in what type of social commentary that is,
Sure.
I feel like
yeah, the focus.
Yes.
You were about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned the whole relic thing briefly, which reminded me that I would love to also discuss Talk to Me. You said that you saw Talk to Me,
No,
the Australian horror film. Oh, you haven't. Okay, so are you familiar with it at all, or you know anything about it?
I've seen the trailer a couple of times, and if memory serves, I'm getting flashes of. Isn't there like an iconic poster moment of like a hand coming up out of the ground?
Yeah. Let me pull up my poster from the beginning of the. I did use it in there. So
yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that have something to do with a school, or like classmates or something like that?
Not exactly. It's like a group of people, and I don't think that they're all friends, but like there's these people that have that hand relic thing, and it has like it's a way to kind of bring in a spirit into your body, and they have like a time period that it's quote unquote safe to have the spirit in your body, but they film the person while they are letting the spirit in, and then while the spirit is in their body, the reactions that the body has to it, and then they have a timer to when they have to say stop, you have to let end it or whatever, and yeah, so that's like the gist of the plot. And then the impact, there's I think so it's like a whole like, I guess they have like a social media channel that they share these videos to, and so this girl and invites this group around to have this thing happen at her place, and she has a younger brother who also is kind of watching the thing, and they originally say like no, he shouldn't be part of it, like he's too young or whatever, and then she gets to the point it's like, oh no, it's fine, let him have a turn. And I think that she lets him like I think someone that mattered to her who'd passed away ends up coming into the kid's body, and so she wants it to like anyway, it ends up fucking up the kid. I don't want to give like too much spoilers about what happens afterwards and stuff, but yeah, it was Australia has done some really good horror films. We mentioned the Babadook earlier. That was also an Australian one. I haven't seen Wolf Creek, but I know that is a really popular Australian horror film too. So
I've heard of it. I know nothing about it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, I need to check it out. Anyway, I really liked Talk to Me. I picked it up mainly because like it was suggested to me as something that I should check out on Amazon, I think, and then I ended up checking it out. And I think I bought it for like $5. I'm like, oh, yeah. Hopefully it's good, because I was going through my like Australian movie phase. I'm like, I need to watch more Australian films, and I want to like revisit my culture.
Revisit my culture.
Revisit my culture. Yeah, I haven't lived there in so long now. You know, it's been 17 years.
Speaking of your culture, Kim and I, this is, getting off topic, but Kim and I have been watching The Traitors, which I think I've told you about in the past. We just watched season 2 of the Australian version of The Traitors. You want some entertainment? Watch season 2 of the Australian version of The Traitors.
The Traders, as in like trading goods.
Oh, I guess you've never heard of it.
No.
It's kind of it's becoming a little bit of a phenomenon. So it's a reality game show.
Okay.
It's just like Mafia. So like you have 20 people sitting in a circle, and the host taps 3 people on the shoulder. And if you get tapped on the shoulder, then you are a traitor.
Traitor.
T-R-A-I-T-O-R.
Oh, I think I've. Yeah, this is why I was confused. Is it hosted by Alan Cumming?
The American version is, yes.
Okay, so I've heard of the American one. I didn't know about an Australian one.
Yeah, started in the UK. They've currently done 3 seasons. I think they're filming season 4. The US has 3 seasons. They're currently filming 4, and I've applied for season 5.
Oh.
And the Australian version has 2 seasons. They are getting ready to film a 3rd season, and New Zealand has 1 season.
Yeah, I like Alan Cumming, but I am not a fan of reality TV. There's very little reality TV that I've been able to get into, so I just don't even start it. So, but reality TV that I did like, I know we're getting off topic, is this Australian reality TV show that I watched while I was living in Malaysia called Beauty and the Geek, where it was a dating game show where they had geeks.
I know that show. I remember
really
that.
Stupid, beautiful women, and I was like, oh my god, these geeks are so dumb. They're not going to like have anything in common with these women. Like they need to be dating up like geeky women. This is so terrible. And I'm also like throughout the whole thing, I was like, why? How are these women so dumb? Anyway.
Oh yeah.
They can rely on their beauty, I suppose. Anyway, off topic. My dad followed up his. Okay, so he said, continue on. Check out the YouTube as Mel Gibson, as he's given various stories, but most recent are about the descent into hell. So that's what he was saying. And then he says, if you were to make a horror movie, what elements would you touch on? Limited budget, actors, location, most fearful.
So I actually have a horror film that I've kind of been working on for a little while.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's ever going to see the light of day, because at any given point I am involved in 20 different projects simultaneously. But this story is about a horde of severed hands that kind of rampage a small town in, probably middle America somewhere. They're all being controlled. Spoiler alert! They're all being controlled by the local priest or local, pastor, or whoever, who is anti-LGBTQ and also maybe a little racist. So throughout the story, you come to find out that the only people who get murdered by this horde of hands are people of color, people of the LGBTQ community, and allies.
Definitely some social commentary with that one.
What do you mean?
No. For me, I've never thought about writing a horror film or making a horror film, but I guess if I was, I would probably make a psychological horror just because that is like my favorite kind to watch, I suppose. And I would probably have some kind of social commentary. I don't know specifically what it would be. I'd probably try and touch on something that hasn't been covered in a horror film before, because I'm sure there is this stuff. I always try to be unique or tell a story in a way that hasn't been done before, or whatever. Anyway, so
Also during COVID, I started a writing project, a weekly writing project thing where the goal was to write a horror story in 100 words or less. And you had to incorporate 3 elements. And from week to week, those elements would change. But you had to incorporate those 3 elements into your story. And every week, I decided that I was going to write horror stories as opposed to just regular normal stories. So one of them, there's one that like really stuck out at me that I wrote, and it's just a simple, it's more of an idea or a concept than anything else. But this woman, 20 something, late 20s, early 30s, gets out of the shower. She's in her bathroom. She's drying her hair. She's looking at herself in the mirror, and her reflection in the mirror is not doing what she is doing. Cut to 5 minutes later, and there is no one in the bathroom, but there is a dead corpse of the woman in the mirror, in the reflection of the mirror, and then a whole bunch of wet footprints walking out of the bathroom.
Oh shit.
So it's almost like the woman in the mirror came out of the mirror, killed her reflector, like the original.
Put her back. I figured. That's creepy as fuck. All right, my dad's next comment, he says, I remember an English teacher dealing with tension is building tension slowly with comedy breaks. Something Shakespeare is excellent at. Yeah. Some of my favorite horror movies are like straight horrors, but with those comedic breaks in them. They're not the comedy horror films where it's comedy throughout, but like Scream does it well. Like there's those comedy breaks. It's like, yeah, it's nice.
Well, comedy does a few things, right? It breaks the tension, sure, but it also builds trust. Anytime you're able to make someone laugh, that's building trust with your audience. It also, by getting someone to laugh, that means that you care about the people.
The characters, yeah.
If you don't care about the characters, then you don't, if you don't like the characters, then you don't care what happens to them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just like, oh, I'm just watching straight up slasher gore and whatever. Right. Did you say that you had seen 28 Years Later or not?
I haven't seen any of those Danny Boyle movies, but
well, I mean, I think the first 2 were hard to get hold of for a while because they were like a bit of like rights issues. I was able to rewatch 28 Weeks Later before I saw Years Later, but I didn't get around to watching the first one. Anyway, I brought that up because the movie I went to see this week in the theater had a trailer for the follow-up 28 years later, The Bone Temple, I think it was called. And it's coming out in January. I'm like, how is there a sequel for it already? Like, they must have shot them back to back.
Oh. Well, so we just had 28 years later, and now you're saying there's 28 years later part 2?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's got to be like, that actually makes sense that they would have filmed them back to back, because if it's still keeping the title 28 years later,
yeah, it's
still
a direct follow-on because like it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, like what happens to the kid that the movie is about. Yeah, and like same characters and stuff. So yeah, I'm genuinely curious to see what happens next. I just did not expect the follow-up to come out in January. Like, this movie just came out in summer, right? Like, like holy shit. Yeah, I know those movies were popular. So, wait, I gotta wait for my dad. My dad saw 28 years later. I didn't even know that my dad still goes to the movies sometimes. So that's a surprise.
Zombie movies have kind of lost their luster with me.
Most zombies in general, I'm just not interested. I find them boring. So there's only a select few that I'm like, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Like, I was bored as anything watching The Walking Dead. Like, this movie.
I like The Walking Dead because I don't think we'd really seen anything quite like that before. But I saw World War Z and it was fine. 28 days later, weeks later, years later, I don't know, there's something about it. It just doesn't hold interest to me. I liked the first Resident Evil movie. I thought that was creepy way back when. The second one was complete dog shit. And I haven't seen any of the sequels. Obviously, Night of the Living Dead was just a masterpiece. Return of the Living Dead, the 80s sequel, is just so weird and silly, and I just love it. But yeah, I don't know. Zombie movies in general
I think my favorite zombie movie is either Shaun of the Dead or Warm Bodies. Have you seen Warm Bodies? It's a zombie rom-com. Basically. So yeah, I've never seen anything else like that film before or since. So yeah, I've only seen it the one time when it was in the movie theater, but I was like, man, this is amazing.
I feel like there have been other zombie stuff that have been like, yeah, this is great, but I don't know, nothing's coming to mind.
Fair enough. Any other modern horror films that you want to bring up?
I'm sure I would love to talk about more, but it is 1:40 in the morning, and I have to be
it's already
hours.
Doing this for 2.5 hours already. So good call. All right, to our viewers who are watching now or will be watching the replay later because it stays online. We will be talking more general horror movies same time next week. So if you want to hear us talk about more horror movies and from the beginning of horror movies, where I don't know what the first one was. Nosferatu is the first one that I'm aware of. Up to today, like, we might touch on these ones again next week. We'll see, because Sharad will be back with us again next week as well. And if you are missing What the fuck happened to Real Talk with the Vulnerable Angel and Friends? Don't worry, I will still be doing an episode of that this week as well. Mike will not be joining us because he is too busy, but Sharad and I will be doing that on Saturday nights for US time zones and Sunday morning for Asia Pacific. So check out the channel. I have not listed it up there yet, but subscribe if you're not already subscribed and hit the notification bell so you can get notified once we are actually live, because sometimes it might be late because of technical difficulties like today. That was my fault because I tried to stream to Twitch as well. I don't know. Will not do that again. So until next time, watch more horror movies. I know I have to try and watch a few this week. I need to rewatch Gremlins as well.
I love it.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Christmas movie.
All right, wait. We have a couple more comments here before I tune out. So we have a new viewer.
Hey,
Oracle. Hey gang, first time viewer here. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sorry that we're almost finished. I hope you come back next week if you're interested in seeing more horror movie discussion.
But just before we go, Oracle, what is your favorite horror movie that's come out in the past 5 years? Quick.
Ooh, yes,
go.
yes. And then you can answer that while I am bringing up my dad's last comment, which says, thanks for great discussion. And yes, the best zombie movies were around Night of the Living Dead and just after. Yeah, I think that's the only one that I have seen from that time period. And I didn't even it might have been when I think my ex-husband had a copy of that film, and that was why I ended up watching it.
Also, Michael Jackson's Thriller, another excellent zombie movie.
There you go. All right. I think that Oracle might have disappeared, so we're not going to get an answer to that. So until next time. Oh, look. I also have Halloween decorations.
Look at that.
As a skeleton. All right. Until next time, watch more horror.